Hello, I'm Dr. Brian Fraser, and in this video I'll be showing how to use Android Studio, which is built on IntelliJ, to clone an existing Git repository. I'll be doing it through GitLab, but the same approach would apply to any other Git provider. So I've got Android Studio open, I've got the welcome screen that will pop up for me, and here I can simply say I want to check out a project from version control, and then I can say what I want to pull from. I'm going to use Git to pull it. And I've already got Git for Windows installed. This demo is under Windows. Similarly, if it was under Linux, you'd have to have Git installed. So I'll say Git, and then that was already there from before, so I'll just get rid of it for the moment. I need to put in the Git repository URL to pull from. I can see that here I've logged into GitLab. This is gitlab.com. Your institution may have a different GitLab server, or you could do this through GitHub. I'm going to pick my project I want to work or pull from. So this is an existing project that somebody else has set up. See the comment section below for a link to how to generate a project like this and check into it. So here I can choose to either use SSH or HTTPS. If I use HTTPS, it's going to ask me for my username and password. I generally try to avoid typing in my username and password as much as I can, so instead I'm going to use via SSH. In this case, I will need to have specified and already set up an SSH key on my machine and configure that SSH key in GitLab. I did that in the previous video. Have a look at that in the comment section below. So now I've got this URL here. It starts with git at, meaning it's going to be over SSH, and then I'm going to switch back to Android Studio. I put in the URL, and it'll give me the value of what it thinks the directory name should be. I can change this if I want, something like test for cloning, and it'll change the project name for me. If I wanted, I could click test to see if it's going to work. I know it's going to work, so I'm going to click OK. So now let's go and cloning the repository. This was a small repository, so it did it very quickly. Larger repositories might take a lot more time. A clone is basically copying the full remote Git repository onto your local machine. It's not just pulling the latest, so it may take a while to pull the history too. And now I'm going to open it. Now one interesting thing is as soon as I've pulled it, it says that I've got some errors. Cannot load two modules. So I can check for details here and it'll tell me what it is that's having problems loading. And these are actually two of the files. So this is an older one that I had, so I was trying to pull the IML file as well as trying to pull the app.iml file. I'm just going to say remove selected. I don't need them because Android Studio will rebuild them for me through its Gradle build process. So I can click here on the left for the project window and see that everything is coming up just fine. Now what I might then want to do is just ensure that I can edit files and so forth. So let's pull up the main activity, and I'll just delete all this extra code I had in from before and say refactored to clean up, or something like that. Imagine doing some actual useful changes here. I'll then click on the version control down at the bottom. If I don't see this, I can mouse over this very bottom left thing and click on version control. It tells me that these are the two files that it knows of that seem to have changed. So I might have a few other unversioned files if I added some extra classes, but I don't yet. So I could add them. I'm going to say here, just commit changes. I can put in some meaningful comment, so refactored, and then I can say instead of commit, I'm going to go to commit push. So I just moused over the commit button, and this will actually not only commit it to my local machine, but also push it to the remote repo. So commit push, the master's already configured, and I'll just push it. It may ask me about some kind of confirm, there's some warnings about code analysis and so forth. At the moment I can ignore those. In real life you probably want to make sure they work well. And now here, I previously had 5 commits. I'll refresh this, and I should have 6 commits. We can see the latest here is refactored. We can see all the changes that just went into that. Okay, thank you for watching.